Welcome back to Vibe Vision, where we bring you the stories, sounds, and sensations of classic cars that defined entire generations. Today we're stepping back to the late 1960s, a time when American car design was bold, powerful, and unmistakably full of personality. The spotlight is on the 1967 Pontiac Ventura, a car that often flies under the radar but stands as one of Pontiac's most elegant and muscular full-size models from that golden era. When you first lay eyes on the 1967 Pontiac Ventura, it's impossible not to be struck by its sheer presence. This was the era when cars were long, low, and wide, and the Ventura wears that look with pride. The front end is dominated by Pontiac's signature split grille, flanked by quad headlights that give it a sharp, confident stance. The chrome detailing along the grille and bumper adds a touch of luxury, while the clean, sculpted hood hints at the muscle underneath. Unlike the flashier GTO or the Bonneville, the Ventura sits comfortably in the middle, sporty enough to turn heads, but refined enough to exude class. The 1967 redesign gave Pontiac's full-size cars a sleeker, more aerodynamic shape compared to earlier boxy designs. The body lines flow smoothly from the front fenders all the way to the rear quarters, creating a look that feels both substantial and stylish. The long wheelbase contributes to a smooth, commanding road presence, while the slightly recessed rear window and subtle tail fins remind you that this was still a decade deeply in love with flair. The rear end features wide-set taillights framed by polished chrome, with the Pontiac emblem proudly displayed at the center. Simple, clean, and distinctly 1960s. The Ventura was available in several body styles: a two-door hardtop, four-door sedan, and convertible, each bringing its own character. The two-door hardtop remains the most sought after today, thanks to its sporty profile and pillarless design that emphasizes open-air freedom when the windows are down. The wide track stance, a hallmark of Pontiac engineering, gives the car an athletic look even when it's standing still. You can almost sense the weight of the car balanced perfectly between its four corners, ready to take on the road with poise and power. Under the hood, performance was what truly made the Ventura special. Pontiac offered several V8 options in 1967, ranging from the solid 389 cubic inch engine to the mighty 428. Depending on the configuration, power ranged from around 265 to well over 375 horsepower. This gave the Ventura real muscle car performance hidden under a full-size body, a combination that appealed to drivers who wanted both comfort and power. The 389 was the workhorse engine, providing strong acceleration and smooth cruising. But for those who checked the right boxes on the order sheet, the 428 cubic inch engine with a 4-barrel carburetor transformed the Ventura into a serious performer. With torque to spare and a deep, satisfying exhaust note, it delivered effortless power on the open road. The car could move from 0 to 60 in under 8 seconds, which was impressive for a vehicle of its size and weight. The 3-speed turbo-hydromatic transmission paired perfectly with the big V8s, delivering seamless shifts and allowing the driver to enjoy both city cruising and highway sprints. For those who preferred a more hands-on experience, a 4-speed manual was available, a rarity in a full-size luxury car. On the road, the Ventura handled with surprising agility. Pontiac's wide-track suspension system, a broader stance between the wheels, provided greater stability in corners and reduced body roll. It was this balance between muscle and maneuverability that helped Pontiac build its reputation as a performance brand that didn't sacrifice comfort. Ride quality was another highlight. The long wheelbase and well-tuned suspension absorbed road imperfections with ease, making long drives feel effortless. Whether you were gliding through city streets or cruising down Route 66, the Ventura delivered that signature American big car smoothness. At the same time, it had a responsiveness that made it more engaging than many of its competitors from the same era. Fuel economy was, of course, not its strongest suit. With those massive engines, you could expect around 10 to 14 miles per gallon depending on how heavy your right foot was. But back then, fuel prices were low, and what mattered most was the feeling of commanding a piece of Detroit steel that could roar to life with a tap of the pedal. The sound of that Pontiac V8 remains one of the most nostalgic and addictive notes in automotive history. Deep, throaty, and unmistakably American. Stepping inside the 1967 Pontiac Ventura, you immediately understand that this car was designed to impress. The interior feels spacious, plush, and built for comfort. Wide bench seats wrapped in premium vinyl or optional fabric invited you to settle in and enjoy the ride. The dashboard featured Pontiac's characteristic driver-oriented layout, with a wide speedometer, chrome accents, and clean instrumentation. The steering wheel was large, thin-rimmed, and stylishly detailed, reminding you that driving was as much about presence as it was about performance. Attention to detail was evident everywhere, from the wood grain, trim on the dashboard and door panels to the soft carpeting underfoot. Pontiac wanted its drivers to feel a sense of sophistication, and the Ventura achieved that perfectly. Air conditioning, power steering, and power brakes were available, adding to the car's luxury appeal. The sound insulation was impressive for the time, reducing road noise and letting the driver enjoy the purr of the engine rather than the wind outside. Even the rear seats were generously sized, offering ample legroom and comfort for passengers. The trunk was massive, capable of swallowing luggage for a weekend trip or even a family vacation. It was a car that blended the practicality of a full-size sedan with the spirit of a muscle car, something few others manage so well. Driving the 1967 Ventura today feels like a trip back in time. The sensation of sitting behind the long hood, looking out over the chrome-trimmed dash and hearing that V8 come to life is an experience that modern cars simply can't replicate. It's not just about speed or handling, it's about character. Every vibration, every sound, every bit of feedback through the steering wheel connects you to the road in a way that's deeply mechanical and undeniably satisfying. The 1967 Pontiac Ventura represented a bridge between two worlds, and the big, comfortable cruisers of the early 60s and the raw performance machines that would dominate the late decade. It carried itself with grace but could deliver genuine thrills when called upon. It wasn't the flashiest Pontiac in the lineup, but it had substance, style, and soul. Today, the Ventura stands as a reminder of Pontiac's golden years, when the brand was at its peak, producing cars that were powerful, beautifully designed, and full of emotion. Finding one in original condition is becoming rare, but when you see that gleaming split grille and long sweeping lines, you instantly recognize it as a true classic. For car enthusiasts and collectors, the 1967 Ventura isn't just another vintage Pontiac, it's a statement. It represents an era of confidence, craftsmanship, and individuality. Every detail, from the chrome accents to the burbling exhaust, tells a story of a time when cars were more than transportation. They were expressions of style and power, and that's what makes the 1967 Pontiac Ventura so special. It captures the spirit of an age when driving was about feeling, not just function, when power and elegance coexisted in perfect balance. It's a car that deserves more recognition, and one that continues to impress over half a century later. Thanks for tuning in to Vibe Vision. If you enjoyed exploring this classic beauty, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Tell us what you think of the 1967 Pontiac Ventura, and what classic ride you'd like to see next. Until next time, keep the engines running and the vibes alive.